Christmas in Noisy Village by Astrid Lindgren and Ilon Wikland. In Noisy Village there are 3 farms, North Farm, Middle Farm, and South Farm. Everyone calls the farms Noisy Village because there are so many children around making noise all the time. Britta and Anna live at North Farm. Carl and Bill and I live at Middle Farm, and Olaf and his little sister Kirsten live at South Farm. This is how Noisy Village looks in the winter. Christmas is a happy time, especially in Noisy Village. Even the sparrows are happy because we put up sheaves of oats for them, and for the bullfinches too, of course, and all the other hungry little birds. We children enjoy Christmas even more than the sparrows do. I'm going to tell you what we did last Christmas in Noisy Village. 3 days before Christmas, we baked ginger snaps. It was great fun, almost as good as Christmas Eve. You could smell ginger snaps all over Noisy Village. This cookie smell is the kind I like, Carl said. He made 19 ginger snap pigs, and I made 14, and Bill made 11. We made hearts and stars too. All of us children have to help with the work at Christmas time. We spent one whole day bringing in firewood on our old sled. We can't possibly burn up all this wood, Olaf said suddenly. This is more than enough. He only said that because he was lazy and didn't want to work any longer. But then his mother said, "We can't have any lazy bones around in the middle of the Christmas rush. Everybody has to help." Not Kirsten, of course. She just rode on top of the load of wood and had a fine time. But then, she's still very little. The day before Christmas Eve, we went out to the woods to cut Christmas trees. We need 4 Christmas trees in Noisy Village, 1 for North Farm, 1 for Middle Farm, and 1 for South Farm. And then Grandfather has a little tree of his very own. My daddy cut all the trees but Grandfather's. Carl cut that one, and Britta and Anna pulled it home on their sled. Skip, Olaf's dog, met us on the way home, and he barked at Olaf. "That's because I wouldn't let him come along to the woods," Olaf said. The evening before Christmas Eve, we went around to all the houses in Noisy Village and sang Christmas carols outside the windows. "God bless the master of the house. God bless the mistress, too," we sang. At every house we made a snow lantern by piling snowballs in a cone shape with a candle burning inside. All the lanterns glowed in the dark. "Everything is so beautiful and Christmassy that it gives me a stomach ache," said Anna. Grandfather is really only Britta's and Anna's grandfather, but we all call him Grandfather. "With no more children than there are in Noisy Village, I can be a grandfather to all of them," he says. We went up to his room and decorated his tree, and Anna kept on telling him how lovely it was because Grandfather is almost blind. "But I can see inside my head how the tree looks," he said, "and I can smell it too." "I hope you can smell how red the apples are," Anna said. When I went to bed that night, I was worried. I was sure our mother wouldn't get everything done in time. We won't have much of a Christmas this year, I thought. But what did I see when I woke up on Christmas Eve? There in the living room stood the tree, all decorated, and a fire was crackling in the fireplace, and everything was beautiful. Christmas Eve is the longest day of the whole year. All those hours you have to wait for your Christmas presents are what turn your hair gray, Carl said. Last year it snowed all day. We put on our Santa Claus caps and ran over with some little presents for Britta and Anna and Olaf and Kirsten and looked at their Christmas trees. Everything was so pretty. Anna and Britta were wrapping their Christmas presents and fastening the paper with sealing wax, and their whole house smelled of sealing wax. We always eat a lot here on Christmas Eve. We sit around the big kitchen table and eat and eat. Ham and sausages and head cheese and Christmas fish and rice porridge and lots of other things. Everyone has to make up a rhyme about the rice porridge, Daddy said. You have to do that on Christmas Eve. Bill's rhyme was the best. "I've eaten so much I can't eat any more, because if I do, I can't get through the door." But Carl said, "That's the worst rhyme I've ever heard in my life." When we'd finished supper, we sat in the living room while Daddy read to us about the Christ child in the manger, and afterward we sang Silent Night, Holy Night. Then Carl shouted, "Look, here comes Santa Claus!" We all ran to the window and looked out, and there in the darkness came Santa Claus with his sleigh loaded with gifts. He carried a lantern to light his way. I feel all shivery inside, said Bill. I don't, Carl said. Now we'll get our Christmas presents. What's shivery about that? I got ever so many presents, even more than I had wished for. Then we danced around the tree. Everyone in Noisy Village came to our house and danced around our tree. Grandfather too, except that he didn't dance. He just sat still and kept on saying, "My, oh my." The rest of us danced and sang all the more. "Christmas is here again," we sang, and then we cracked nuts and ate oranges and almond candy. Next morning, we got up at 6 o'clock and went to church. "Guess what I like," Carl said. "I like riding in a sleigh by torchlight." "Guess what I like," Bill said. "I like sleigh bells and the smell of horses." "Guess what I like," I said. "I like Christmas." "Well, of course," Carl said. "Everybody likes Christmas." When we got home from church, we all took the skis we got for Christmas and our toboggans and went skiing and tobogganing all day. Olaf had got a pair of skates, so he went skating down on the pond all by himself. That evening, we went to a Christmas party at Britta's and Anna's house. We played blind man's buff and bobbed for apples and had a wonderful time. Kirsten climbed up and sat on the table because she was a little afraid of the blind man, but she certainly wasn't afraid when we had fruitcake and tarts to eat. Oh, isn't Christmas a jolly time? I wish it would come oftener, don't you?